3, 2, 1, and we're on. Fantastic. Performance Academy Podcast, episode 19.
19,
I just simply can never remember the numbers.
Yeah, I don't think we're at
With
20
Zach Rowe.
and Josh.
And we're back at it again. Staying on track. Today is a good day. I'm feeling pretty good because school stuff is pretty much wrapping up. I got a couple more discussion board posts to do, or replies, but other than that, I'm basically done. Finally, college graduate, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Are you gonna walk?
Certainly no, for sure no.
So anticlimactic.
Yeah, I think they were doing some kind of thing over at Angel Stadium.
I saw that.
But I was like, I don't really want to go over there. But I heard prior to that becoming a thing, they were going to do like a drive-through type of, bullshit thing. I was like, for sure not doing that. But anyways, we can talk about that more later. Start with you, Josh, fitness stuff. We kind of just went over it, but just tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so I think my life trajectory has changed. So I won't get into it too much at this point. We'll just once everything's final, I'll really get into it. But so now I'm gonna get back into like my lifting and my jiu-jitsu, and I took like a kind of week and a half off of doing most of my stuff, and I'm just gonna get back into like bigger compound lifting more often. Like today I just did some squats, RDLs, some walking lunges. I'm just really gonna take it pretty light like the next week and a half or two. Just to focus on getting my technique back, because I have no strength anyways right now.
You said take like a week and a half off of training completely?
No, I did. I kind of did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
I mean, I was doing stuff. I mean, not much really. Not much. Maybe. Yeah,
just like
jiu-jitsu. Probably no like other formal like running or swimming or really lifting at that point. So
just to kind of like decompress, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah,
just training got too much.
Yeah, because I was still kind of going through all that I was talking about earlier with you.
Yeah.
I was just kind of decompressing, and I was still being active and whatnot, but wasn't like organized workouts.
I saw on one of your social media, I can't remember, you're playing a lot more soccer lately.
It's finally actually picked back up. Playing in like an arena league.
Yeah, where's that?
On Monday nights in Huntington Beach. And then in Lakewood here, they're having our Sunday soccer, which is not really too competitive, it's just for fun, but it was like a regular thing. Some turf fields, that's opening back up this Sunday, so I'm pretty excited about that. They're trying to say like show up with a mask. I'm obviously not going to do that.
Yeah, playing outside.
Yeah, they're out their damn minds. That's another thing I'm looking forward to about like not being in the Navy is like now I don't have like a boss that can like literally make me do something I don't want to do.
Yes.
So now I can speak my mind and be okay with it.
I mean, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but was like the vaccine kind of thing like?
It wasn't that wasn't a huge factor, but it was like a part of like the accumulative effect that like led me to like not do it.
Sure.
It wasn't even like a quarter or 25% reason why, but it was maybe like just another like 5% reason like added on. I was just like it just kind of made me like throw my hands like I don't no.
Yeah. I think we're both very similar in that we're much more like independent. I don't want to say free thinkers because that's, I don't know, kind of.
Well, I mean, I think we are. I mean, both of our strength-based leadership things both said like that's what we were.
Yeah, and we're both like more independent, entrepreneurial, and we have like kind of what we like to do, and I just don't feel like either of us really fit into the mold of like just following. Just doing what you're told and just not questioning things and.
Pink Floyd, another brick in the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'd say we're not those.
Yeah.
So,
And I feel like now, now I'm more comfortable with being like that. Whereas before, I was kind of like more like quiet about what I believed in, or just kind of like shut up and just went along, or.
Yeah, I remember you talking about like in high school, like you being less.
Outside of my friend group, yeah. Like inside my friend group, I was I just say stupid shit. I'm a dork. I do stuff for laughs, whatnot.
Yeah.
But outside my friend group, I was a lot less vocal, just in general. Yeah.
No, I would say I'm the exact same way, really. Like in high school, I was scared to be made fun of. Like I would try and just fit in as much as possible. I would, outside my friend group, really.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I've developed out of that a lot more and just speak what I feel I believe in and you know, it just is what it is.
Yeah, so it sounds like you said like yours kind of stemmed from like wanting to like fit in or whatnot, and mine kind of stemmed
Yeah.
from like not wanting to fuck up, like not wanting to mess up.
Sure,
Not-
I don't want to be a loser, you know?
yeah.
That was a big reason I got into the Fire Explorer stuff and Fire Academy. Junior year of high school, you know? Is I just didn't want to be a loser, so it's like, and I don't think I ever really was, but it's just like, that was kind of like my route. I was like, oh, you know, firefighters, they're respected, they're appreciated, so I was like, and I thought it was a good career option, so that's why I kind of fell into that pretty hard and did that, you know, it's a little bit different, but like, when I had that realization, I was like, oh, this is not really what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. You know, it was a tough decision, but, you know, it is what it is. But anyways,
No, yeah.
so,
Pretty much the same cloth, huh?
yeah, so, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, just taking time off of fitness and just getting back into it.
Yeah, now I'll probably, like I squat a day, I'll probably try to squat again in like 3 more days. Like I'm not really doing heavy, but I'm just getting my technique back, and then my, you know, how's it go? Strength is an expression of technique, or technique. Having good technique allows you to express your strength properly.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah.
trying to work on that, and then I want to get back into like lifting. Probably I'll start off with like a 4-day-a-week thing, like upper lower split or something like that. But still something that I can manage training quite a bit more jiu-jitsu. So, but I think I'll be able to manage that because my overall like training volume and like tolerating workload has been so high with like this training for the Navy.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of like upper limits of like 13 workouts a week, and they're all pretty high intensity or challenging for me.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So yeah, I think that'll be good. Or I think I'll be able to tolerate it all right. But we'll see as I get into more lifting. Like I might have to like how I exercise selection and whatnot, as far as like systemic fatigue and like what exercises like just are too much, you know, and what gives me results and what also like is balanced and whatnot. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited though. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I kind of got like I just kind of came up with it today, but I think like my next weight target is like 170. So.
Like body weight?
Yeah, body weight. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
170. Where are you at right now?
I think I'm around 162 or 163 right now. I think. I gotta check, but like I said, like with like my new plan, like these are all like early stages of everything I'm trying to do, you know. So I'm just trying to figure out the exact method. I gotta get on a routine, and whatnot. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I really do want to get back into a gym though, a gym setting.
Yeah, dude, I was about to mention that. I was thinking about that when I was coming over. Because I've been working out like probably like twice a week in the gym, and then just cycling, and then doing some shit at home, just like kettlebells, like functional training stuff, you know. But I feel like, to use the corny expression, nature's healing. Like the gyms are kind of like they're starting to get full again, and the ladies are back in the gyms. Yesterday I was there.
I did notice that.
And I was like, hey, you know, if you keep doing this, I'll keep coming back.
Yeah.
So,
and I noticed they were in higher numbers than normal. Like the ratio was right.
yeah. You still gotta wear the mask, whatever.
Yeah,
but I guess
think that's what I'm waiting for. I think I'm waiting for it
it's
to go.
June. It's like middle of June.
Yeah, right.
So they say.
But is that in gyms too? Because I really don't want to go back there.
I've heard that June. I think it's June 15th or 16th. If you are vaccinated, which basically means everyone, because if you can't verify who's vaccinated or not, right? So if you're vaccinated, you can go inside without a mask, and that's everywhere in California. Now, 100%, I know there's going to be some companies out there that still require them. I mean, you can just bet your bottom dollar on that. But hopefully the Y isn't one of those places. And you just, I mean, you can't screen everyone that comes in for vaccine. First of all, it's personal.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using that.
Personal.
HIPAA or something, dude. I don't know.
Well,
it's not HIPAA, but like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's
private medical
information, which you don't have to disclose to anyone if you don't want to.
Yeah.
So, right there, it's like if anyone's really gonna press you, it's just like, oh, that's personal medical information. I don't really want to disclose that. But I don't even think in most situations it's really gonna get to that. I think it's just gonna be like honor system, which basically means, you know, unless you really absolutely want to wear a mask in the gym, no one's gonna be wearing a mask. Honestly, right now, if you just look around, if you stand in the middle of the gym, you just look around, more than half the people aren't even wearing it properly. Everyone's wearing it down below their nose. So it's like, what the fuck are we doing? You're not even wearing it right. So it's like not doing anything. So it's just a matter of time. I think that'll finally start to go away.
Yeah, I was thinking about being a smart ass. People ask me like if I'm vaccinated, I'd be like, oh yeah, like I am. And they'd be like, oh, which one? I'm like, I don't know, and then I could say like, oh, it's my own information. But technically, I'm not lying because I was vaccinated when I was a baby. When you're born.
Yeah,
I did get vaccines, so.
Yeah, we're all vaccinated, right?
I mean, not everyone per se, but most people are.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, because some moms are like, don't want to do that.
Sure.
Sure. But I believe I got my vaccines.
I mean, I think that's more of a thing like nowadays within the last 5 years or so, anti-vaxxers. But like kids our age,
yeah, I mean,
I feel like 99% are.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm
like
vaccinated.
measles, mumps, and all that kind of stuff.
Polio.
So it's like if you if someone like just keeps like a general like you're vaccinated, like yeah, like most people are, but like.
For what? Oh, for what?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You got to be specific. COVID vaccine,
Yeah.
which is a technical like loophole.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So gyms, it's cool.
I am excited to get back in the gym. Plus, I want to use all the machines and whatnot again. And I'm just pissed they got rid of some of the I want to hack squat at the YMCA.
Yeah.
I'm just bummed because I'm gonna have to pay for a YMCA membership now too.
Mm.
But
I have been.
You have been?
It's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
I still have the key.
me too. I never use it. I should probably just give it back. So actually, I had to interview a fitness manager for this project for 469. Did I tell you my interaction with Irby on that?
You mentioned it. Yeah. What was it?
I wanted to interview him, and I know he had moved from the Y over to EOS. I think is how you pronounce it, EOS.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna segue off this
And
too,
then-
but you said he's doing FedEx or UPS or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, damn.
I mean, do you still have a conversation with him or no?
No, because I was just like, I don't know. It just felt really weird, and he wasn't like currently a fitness manager, and then I was just like, I don't know. It just felt kind of weird. So then I was like, I had to get it done. Like I turned it in a few days late because I couldn't connect with anyone. I was like, you know what, fuck it, let me just do Mario. Because technically he's a fitness manager, whatever. And so I had like an interview with him. Asked him about like 10 questions. Some of them were pre-written by Schroeder or whatever.
Make up your own too.
And then, 2 more, yeah. So did you do that?
Yep.
Who'd you?
Irby.
Okay, Irby, yeah. Okay. So I did Mario. That was pretty interesting. I learned that they lost like I think it was about 3,000 families and memberships.
So 3,000.
3,000 family memberships.
Oh, so more.
So even more people than that. Yeah. Here, do I have notes on that?
I mean, probably anywhere from like 6,000 to 10,000 people. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, who even knows, dude? Is this the project? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested, like, just
right
in what he was saying about the YMCA, and like, just because I like the place until.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't write the number down. Oh yeah, I did. But so it was like 2,500, and then an extra. So it was like nearly 3,000 families. Canceled their membership. So I was like, holy shit, dude! It's just like, I just don't know how you're ever gonna bounce back from that. It's gonna take years. So like any kind of programs, cause like I've been talking, Eric's like now taking over Irby's position basically, I guess, and then, what's his name face? Reggie's kind of like Ricky's kind of position essentially. I don't exactly know. It's very loose and whatever, but I've been talking to both of them about trying to start up Super Kids. And I even brought it up to Mario when I did the interview thing at the end, because he was like, oh, what are you doing now? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just, doing my own training thing. I work for InHealth, medical services, health coach, And then I was like, yeah, I can't remember exactly what he said. I can't remember if he wanted me to come back as a trainer or whatever, but I was like, I would love to come back and do Super Kids, and he was like, okay, we'll keep in touch, but he didn't really say anything. But I guess Reggie brought it up to him at like a bi-monthly meeting, and said that essentially it just doesn't make any money, so they're not going to do it. Which, I mean, I get, because it doesn't make money. Essentially all the families that do it for free, and essentially I don't know how like the dietitians or whatever how that worked, but I got paid by the Y, and that was my hourly rate. It was like I think 3 hours a week, and then I think that was it. That was pretty much all they paid for. So I understand, but then like what a problem I have now with the Y and what Reggie brought up too, which I thought was very interesting, was two things: was community and what was the other thing? Fuck. I already forgot. Community and then what's the other thing? Who gives a fuck? But community is the big one because the Y is always talking about community, this, that, and the other, and it's like you preach this, but then in your actions it doesn't really follow through because like your whole staff you basically laid off, and now you go there and the whole front desk is new, all the kids club girls are new, upstairs pretty much everyone except for Daniel is new. A lot of the sports people new, so you laid off your whole whatchamacallit, and then hired new people. And then you talk about community for like your members and stuff, and you're not bringing back all these old programs and whatnot and servicing those people like you used to. I don't know, it's just hypocritical.
Yeah, I mean it's not community, it just seems like it's just I mean
Innovation was the thing.
Yeah.
So there's no type of community, and then innovation, it was just like, I was always, like we talked about this last week, I was like always trying to innovate when I was there. But nothing, I mean, a few things through Fit Zone went through, but like...
And we're successful.
Yeah, and we're successful, but other than that, like innovation, and well actually innovation in the Super Kids too, like I started to incorporate my health coaching into that. That was going really well, but a lot of things, it was just a lot of red tape, and that's what I told Reggie, I was like, that's the main reason why I probably never really come back is just all the red tape. It's just like you gotta get this and that cleared off, and it's just like I don't give a fuck. If I want to do something, I'll just do it and make it work, and it's not profitable, I'll figure it out and try and improve upon it, or just bitch it and it didn't work out, whatever. You learn more from your failures and your successes. So, but innovation and community, those were the two things, and I was like, yeah, dude, 100%. That's what I've been talking about for like over a year now. But anyways.
I was going to chain off earlier what you were saying about that EOS place.
Yeah.
I think it's in Hawaiian Gardens, I think.
Well,
I don't know which one he was
no,
in.
I'm pretty sure he said it was in Fullerton because he lives up there.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a newer, I think it might be new. It's one in the
I'm sure there's
Gardens.
multiple.
But I think it's a newer chain, I think, so I haven't heard of it before.
Yeah.
But like I know some people who go there and whatnot, and like I've seen like pictures of the gym.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like a pretty like decent gym,
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know like what their pricing is or whatnot, or if like, but, but like
It's a little bit more bougie, kind of.
I think it's like they market as that, but I don't think it's quite as much. Like it's not like a
Kind of like mid ground.
Yeah, I don't think it's I don't think it's an Equinox. I don't think it's.
No, I don't think it's quite like that.
I wonder if it compares to like 24-hour fitness.
Yeah,
like
maybe a little bit more premium 24-hour fitness. I
don't know, but I mean, from like the machines and whatnot, like it looks like a good facility.
Yeah.
And I'll probably start at the YMCA, back up there. But I would like to check out like other cool local gyms. Like I'm not really a big fan of Crunch just because like, it's just like not my crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
No. Yeah, no, that's actually a good idea. I should look into more like smaller private gyms, and it's just the Y is just so convenient. It's like right there.
Yeah, it is.
But
I really liked it because of that small feel that it had, like that community feel. Where you like.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, we knew a bunch of the workers, we knew a bunch of the regulars.
It's just that type of vibe is not there anymore.
Yeah, no.
It's back. The gym vibe is back. At least I feel like it. But like the community, like, yeah, like you don't really know too many people nowadays, and like, it's definitely different in that aspect.
Yeah, I'm just really pissed. I really like the V squat too.
Yeah, the V squat, and then the
I mean, they have those machine leg presses, right?
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
But like
and
I want.
What's the
reverse hyper.
Yeah, reverse hyper. Couldn't think of the word name.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I
mean, I need like a hack squat or like a leg press or like I want to try like one of those pendulum squats.
Yeah, I see a ton of different.
Pendulum
I see a ton of different bodybuilders using those.
Yeah.
They look really interesting. They look. It looks like just a nice kind of machine.
But
Nice
even like
movement.
a hack squat, dude, that, man, I've been wanting one of those. I haven't even used one yet. But yeah, that's why I'm just saying, like, might want to check out some other local gyms just because.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited to get back into bodybuilding a little bit. Because I do love reading those programs, you know.
All right. Man, I have no idea where the inception of that came from, but yeah, I don't know. I just get in tangents. But my fitness stuff, I guess. I've been just super loose, man.
Still?
Still. I'm coming into a little bit of a conundrum here because I just didn't really kind of plan this out very well, but my triathlon's July 17th, and I'm going on vacation the 21st for a whole week to Louisiana, New Orleans.
It's kind of in the middle, like before you're peaking around, right?
Yeah, it's not ideal, because then I'll have another like 2.5 weeks after that.
Yeah.
And so, like, I could still train there, but really all I could do is run unless I somehow find a very easily accessible pool. And then, like, gym equipment, I really only be able to bring my TRX to do any kind of strength training. So I'm like, shit. And then before that, though, I'm getting a tattoo.
Are you?
I'm getting a tattoo the 8th. And I don't think I'm going to be able to work out, like, at least a week after that. Probably even more.
What are you getting?
I'm getting a tattoo right here. A lady's face, flower, flowy kind of design, black and gray. So I was like, dude, I did not plan this out well at all. I'm like, shit. So I'm probably not gonna be able to really train much at all going up to the vacation, and then it's gonna be limited when I'm there. I'm really only gonna be able to run for cardio, and then I have another like 2.5 weeks, and then I have to do a triathlon. So I was like, fuck. And I'm so stupid. I was like, oh, 100% I'm gonna be doing this. Like, I'll commit to it. I already paid for it, but I was like, I'm not gonna be able to put 100% of what I want to into this. I'm like, shit.
How much are triathlons?
It was like $80.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But then I had to pay for the membership because it's like a certified through like USA triathlon, you know.
Yeah, I get you.
So I don't know how much the membership was, but that's like a year-round thing. So yeah, now I'm like I kind of fucked myself, but I mean I'm still staying active. I just don't have like a regimented thing, you know.
Yeah.
Now at this point I don't really want to because literally Tuesday I'm gonna be out. Like I can't. They get too sweaty, so it'll fuck up the tattoo, and I don't know how long I'll be out. But anyways, that's my
Yeah.
bad.
A little scrappy.
Huh?
A little scrappy.
What do you mean?
Like your whole fucking program. Your whole training routine.
Yeah. It's not good.
Piecing it together.
But yeah, you know, I'll try and just do as much as I can that last 2.5 weeks when I get back, and then just do the best I can. I still feel like I'll be able to put out a good, decent enough performance. It'll just be more race experience, and after that, who knows? Yeah, I think that's about it for my fitness.
Really?
Nothing too crazy.
What else we got cooking?
Huh?
What else we got here?
Yeah, okay, so, dude, okay, so before we get into current events, I tell you what, these health coaching calls, you get so many just interesting people. I had this one call, this gentleman, at one point he was like 400 pounds, he had gastric bypass surgery, and he got down really, pretty thin. I think he said like below 200, and he was back up recently to like 250, 260, and he said he has gained about 50 pounds. So yeah, 250, 260 currently, over like this last year, just due to pandemic or whatever. And he says he eats, and this is what the fucking people recommended, because because when you have gastric bypass, small amounts. So they recommended he eat 5 small meals, and also in between those 5 meals he snacks throughout the day. And I'm just like, I can't remember how it comes up, but he just mentions he's never really hungry. I'm like, well, dude, why are you eating 5 meals a day and snacking between those if you never feel hungry?
Yeah, and he's putting on weight. He's
Yeah,
too
and
many
you're
calories.
50 pounds over.
So
And
he's doing it so because he needs.
And
that's
he
what's
thinks he needs to eat that much. He was like the surgeon or whoever else, the assistant said, "Oh, you should break up your meals, smaller meals, like eat like 5 meals a day." I was like, "Well, dude, you obviously don't need to be eating 5 meals a day." And I was just trying to explain this to him, but like.
Well, it's kind of funny with health coaching. So you have to kind of phrase it so like.
Yeah.
So you think that you.
Yeah, and I felt so ridiculous saying that. I was like, I literally, I think I said something to that effect. I was like, so do you really think you need to be eating 5 meals a day? Which sounds like very condescending, but I was just like.
I mean, you can't say don't eat 5 meals.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to give orders.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just trying to figure out, and this guy didn't really see. He was like, yeah, I just think I need to like cut down on the snacking. It's like, well, yeah, you need to not snack and eat probably three or 4 meals a day.
I mean, you can probably eat 5 meals if it is small and if it's like made up with the right stuff. You know,
Sure.
If it really is that small because like that's all you can process.
Sure.
Because like they do like, I mean, if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, like you do sometimes eat more meals for both. It just depends on like.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
I mean, this guy was obviously. I mean, he's gained 50 pounds over a year.
Yeah.
So you're in just such a high caloric deficit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's quite impressive.
Yeah, I was like, it's just.
I can't imagine putting that much on.
Yeah, yeah. I just think, yeah, exactly. Think of how much goddamn food, and it's just how uncomfortable you have to be all the time.
I mean, the fact you said he's never hungry.
Yeah,
it's like, well,
and that's how I was trying to phrase it too. I was like, well, your drive to eat is your hunger. So like, why are you eating if you're not hungry? And he didn't really give me an answer. I was like, therein lies the problem. That's the reason you get gastric bypass surgery, because hormone ghrelin is predominantly in your stomach, right? Is it produced in your stomach or held in your stomach? I can't exactly remember, but ghrelin is associated with your stomach and your intestines, and so when you shrink that stomach size, obviously your ghrelin, your hunger hormone, is going to be diminished. So your drive to eat isn't there as much. But he's like, fuck that drive to eat, I'm just going to eat anyways. I was just like, dude, you're...
So is insulin what lets you know you're satiated?
Huh?
So it's insulin that lets you know you're satiated?
No.
I thought that...
Ghrelin is the hunger one, and then leptin.
Leptin.
Insulin is what uptakes glucose.
Yeah, okay.
And it's secreted by your pancreas. That uptakes glucose, and that's affected by like diabetes, obviously.
Yeah, I thought it was ghrelin and insulin that were the opposites.
Yeah, no, leptin is the one that makes you feel satiated. So yeah, I was like, that's just not one of those guys. I was like, oh, you're fucked. And you're like, you just don't understand eating and just completely oblivious. You need someone.
I mean, at this point, I don't know what of it is common sense and what of it is just like we've studied it in school.
I feel like there's common sense. If you're not hungry, don't eat. Like,
yeah.
Right? I don't know.
I mean, you hear so many crazy stories that's like, wait, what is common sense? And like, you just not know? Or like...
Yeah, and it's just like, sometimes I love health coaching, and actually, we can talk a little bit later, how I'm trying to incorporate it a little bit more into my business stuff. But like sometimes you just gotta like look at someone in the eyes and be just like, hey dude, you're eating too much goddamn food, and it's very obvious, but like for whatever reason you're just not seeing it.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was a very interesting call. That's it there. Next we'll move to current events. First we'll do the Craig Jones and the who came on with him? The
Alexander Volkanovski.
Yes. Alex Volkanovski, he's a champion, what weight class?
145.
145. Yeah, so he's a bit of a beast. And then Craig Jones, jiu-jitsu guy out of John Danaher. I didn't listen to the whole thing, it's his play.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Did you listen to that one?
Yeah, I did. I really like Craig Jones. He's hilarious.
Yeah. They were very upset about the shadow banning and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, it's weird.
I mean, Craig Jones kind of like, he was kind of making jokes and whatnot about like, he still does about like on OnlyFans and whatnot. Like, I could see him like just getting flagged for like someone like being offended by something he said.
Yeah.
I mean, Gordon Ryan is always getting flagged and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But
sure.
No, I really like that. Yeah, Craig Jones is legit. I really like his stuff. As far as jiu-jitsu, I think he's funny too.
Yeah.
He's really like a slick grappler. So I've kind of been like implementing some of his stuff in my game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, with Gordon Ryan not competing, Craig Jones is likely the best competing right now. So.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see how like that all shakes out. But yeah, it's a real treat with Gordon Ryan. Gordon Ryan recently on Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Jones, and then John Danaher was on Lex Friedman's podcast like 2 weeks ago. And then he was on Joe Rogan's last week, and I watched all 4 of those all the way through.
I mean, I'm fucking up. I haven't listened to any Lex Friedman. I gotta go check him out.
Yeah, at first I was kind of put off him just by like how like stale, or maybe you could say he's stale, or just
dry.
Dry, but like as far as like the content, like the depth of the conversations he has, like they're really like I get like a lot of like information from him.
100%.
So yeah, I do like him.
Yeah, I have this problem I've noticed when I listen to people on the JRE, and I'm like, oh, I really like that guy. I can't wait for him to, guy or girl. I really like them. I can't wait for them to come back on to listen to them more. And I'm like, oh wait, they have a podcast. I can listen to them every week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's one of those guys, you know, I'm like, I gotta start listening to him. But yeah, so, yeah, you mentioned already John Danaher. Yeah, he's a very interesting dude. You know, it seemed like one of his main kind of goals is make MMA more streamlined, or not streamlined, but mainstream. And like the excitements and getting like your average kind of person that's not like a jiu-jitsu practitioner into it.
So you're saying into jiu-jitsu or MMA? Into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Sorry, did I say MMA?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Into jiu-jitsu and make it more of like a spectator sport and that kind of, and get like increasing pay for the athletes and whatnot. So he's just got a very interesting perspective on it. And
I forget what the solutions he said for that was, because it is kind of hard to do.
What do you say? It's just more action and like one of the things.
Oh yeah, submissions, right? That's what it's really.
Submission was a big thing.
Instead of
like,
points. Yeah.
Yeah, and then one thing that they both agreed upon that they would like to do but didn't think was really feasible practically was like no time limit.
MMA.
Huh?
In MMA.
No, in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, in jiu-jitsu.
A no time limit submission. It's just
That's
like.
Right. That's right.
And I guess Gordon Ryan, I can't remember who he fought, but they had a jiu-jitsu match, and it was a no limit, just go till someone submitted. And it was like an hour and a half long.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I heard him talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who he fought in that.
That doesn't usually happen, but I mean, it's possible.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I guess. I couldn't even imagine, like, doing something like that for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Just like holding.
When I was like 13, 14, or 15, me and Frank wrestled for 45 minutes, walking around, and like we were like soppy, slimy, like it was like, and just laying on top of it, it was so bad. I mean, plus we didn't know any technique, you know, we were just trying to preach like a headlock, but
yeah,
I mean, it'd be hard to watch that too for that long.
Yeah,
even as a spectator, just because like there's probably so much stalling, so you need to figure out a way to like incentivize like not to stall in like an hour, because like when there's no time limit, it doesn't necessarily like 20 minutes is probably a good thing, like an hour and a half is like I'm seeing it a long time.
Yeah, but you know what I remember now. His main thing for making it more palatable is you know, they try and make all kinds of different rule sets to make it more interesting for average people to watch. But really, he said the main thing is the culture of jiu-jitsu and trying to push the culture of like going for submissions and like not really wanting to go to overtime or however whatever.
EBI overtime as well.
Yeah, or just, you know, finishing on a draw or whatever the rule set may be. And having the culture of guys looking for the submission and being like upset and not feeling like they competed to 100% of their ability if it went to whatever OT or just a draw. You know, so I thought that was a very interesting perspective on it, is the culture.
Yeah, I agree with it. I mean, his athletes though are like really like some of the top submission guys for sure. Most successful at least.
Yeah.
I know in 10th Planet, like it seems like we too focus on like submissions over like positions, you know.
Yeah.
Just because we're not like a traditional school, and like traditional schools really are like position and points, whatnot for sure. But 10th Planet, like on that big scale, just hasn't had quite the same success. It has had success, but not the same that Danaher's Death Squad has. So. It does need like a whole cultural shift, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, both those podcasts were really good.
I also like, I've heard people mention it before too, but like why grappling isn't as successful now in the UFC and MMA as a whole as like maybe it was like when it first like the first UFC 1s and 2s, like those big tournament
Yeah, I
events.
mean, back then no one knew, right?
That too, but also I think the rounds were longer, or there weren't rounds as well.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
Yeah, and that doesn't really favor grappling
Right.
at all because like it takes a lot of effort to get someone to the ground, and then like, I mean,
Work a position.
yeah, jiu-jitsu takes time to like, I mean, if somebody knows what they're doing, like to make incremental progress, you know, and then like sometimes in a round like a ref will just stand them up, just if like something's not happening, you know, and, like I think Rogan mentioned like one time he saw like Damian Maia get stood up in like side control or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so
against Usman.
I think that's what
he's the champ now, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if, you know, Damian had that really good position and, you know, pulled something off, submitted him. You know, it changes the whole trajectory of a guy's career.
Yeah.
Really.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's just not as respected, maybe, as striking, you know?
Yeah. And for like entertainment, like it's for casuals, it's much easier to understand striking than like see someone fall down with a punch or something.
100%.
You know, but as a jiu-jitsu enthusiast, whatnot, like those 4 podcasts lately were like a lot of fun. You know, I really liked them.
I remember he posted a meme, like this was probably about a week or 2 ago, but it was like blue belts when they recognized the choke or whatever.
The commentary before Joe Rogan announced it.
That was pretty funny.
That was like him like sitting in his brain chair.
Yeah,
his brain would come down and form a chair and he was sitting in it.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny meme.
I felt like I could relate to that so much because like now when I watch the UFC, I'm like, oh, look what he's doing to get into it, and then I hear Rogan like, he's moving into this, and I'm like, yes.
Are there any good fights coming up? Did you see Tyron Woodley? He's gonna box. What's his face? Jake Paul. Now, surely, I mean, again, Tyron Woodley, not really known as a boxer.
I know.
But more of a striker than.
That's what's bothering me.
What's his face? Ben Askren. So surely, and how big is Tyron? Oh, what's weight?
170 welterweight.
Jake's not that big, right? He's not 170.
I think he could be.
What did he weigh when he fought Ben?
I don't know. But, I mean, still, just have the guy fight a boxer, dude. Stop setting him up in these matches that, like...
They're all just kind of very... It's very calculated, obviously, right?
Yeah, it's annoying.
And he doesn't want to fight, like, a straight boxer. So it's all very calculated. But yeah, he just won't... It's just like he won't commit to, like, just a straight boxer. It's all these different kind of incremental increases in striking ability. Which, I mean, if you're looking at it from his perspective, it's smart.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just like if you're going to... And, you know, he signed with Showtime now.
Below that, right there.
What is that? 190? No way. That's crazy. He does not look 190. 190 and a half. Yeah. 190. That's surprising. I wouldn't say he was 190. Yeah, okay. What was I saying? I don't even remember.
Talking about fighting.
Yeah.
Woodley.
Yeah, you know, he's going at it a good strategy, you know, to build up, and you know, you can't knock that. But I'd like to eventually just see him just fight like a straight boxer and just, you know, because all these other people just kind of either don't know anything about striking or just kind of do it to compete in MMA. It's just 2 different things, you know.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but anyways. Cool. We can move on from that. Was there any other good podcasts? Fitness-related ones? Not really, huh? Yeah, no. So yeah, I guess we'll go to the UFC PI thing now. So, dude, I mean, it is just chock full of information. It's just so dense.
Yeah, your first few bullet points are all stuff that I know. Like that's the stuff that I covered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as far as injuries and whatnot, and like finishes and like weight classes and stuff. I saw that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And how like the lighter 2 women's divisions like are like pretty much go the distance all the time. They don't really have like the knockout, fighting capabilities.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just kind of summarize the few sections I checked out that I thought would be interesting. Section 2 was the injury characteristics. Now, did I write? Oh yeah, so in there it said over 80% of injuries happen in fights. However, and I think they made a note of this, is that anything that doesn't happen like publicly, like in a fight, I'd say a majority of the time the fighter's gonna try and cover that up and make sure that information doesn't get out. Because, you know, you've heard about it a million different times. I mean, Conor McGregor, you know, he's hit injuries, and you know, I'm blanking on other examples.
Maybe Pacquiao, he fought Mayweather.
Yep, that's a boxing one, but you know, same idea. You know, when you have this giant payday kind of thing coming up, and there's all this promotion, and you know, say you're a main card and the card's just kind of riding on your performance, you wanna. Oh, my nose is bleeding. Jesus Christ.
Let me get you
Sheesh. Why is my nose bleeding? Holy shnikes.
the heat or something?
I don't know. It's kind of bleeding a lot. Alright. Josh is gonna get me a napkin. But, you got so much riding on this one particular event, you don't wanna do something premature and pull out when maybe you could follow through on it and make the fight. You might not be absolutely 100%, but you know, the thing is, I think a lot of fighters, most of the time fighters aren't even really at 100%, so it's like going into the fight, like fuck it,
In case you start pouring, I got you a lot.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I'm distracted. So I don't think most fighters go into a fight 100% most of the time anyway, so like fuck it, I'm just gonna ride this out and then do the best I can with the injury. So anyways, yeah, but to no surprise, in fight injuries, 351 of them were head injuries, so no shit. People getting concussions.
Cuts, all that.
Yeah, cuts, all that kind of stuff. And then the next biggest one was wrists and hands, which is, you know, something Joe Rogan talks about a lot, is that your wrists and hands are just like the shittiest weapons, because they're just a lot of small little bones and whatnot in there, and it's not meant to just throw as hard as you can straight at someone's head, which is like extremely hard. So, yeah, you know, it's just it's not what's the word? Something you'd normally be able to do, basically. Because, like, you think of bare knuckle boxing, they're not punching nearly as hard, and there's not nearly as much knockouts, but there's a lot more cuts.
Yeah.
And then the next biggest one was knee injuries. So I thought that was interesting. I think that's just a fragile joint.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily any of that's really surprising, nor is the non-fight injuries.
Yeah, so the non-fight injuries, the highest was knees, and then shoulders, another fragile kind of joint, a lot of mobility and lots of different things can go to the shoulder, and then neck. So a lot of just maybe compression of the neck, and or like, you know, maybe like submissions or whatever, cranking on.
Yeah, and I saw like in training, like grappling became one of the main causes of injury. Which makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, this movement of not as many fighters sparring nowadays, you know, probably reducing head trauma in fights, or out of fights rather. But I still think out of fight injuries are highly underreported.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's it there. Number two, but Section 10 was energy systems and bioenergetics. So, really with that, I mean, with a lot of the information, honestly, it wasn't like, I was just like, yeah, this is cool, but I don't really know what to do with it, because a lot of the information, they compared them all to different weight classes, you know? So I was like, alright, well, I mean, you know, it makes sense, because like the high force production kind of stuff, the highest is going to be heavyweights, and it's going to slowly go down as the weights go down. And more of the aerobic based stuff, the highest, like the VO2 max and stuff, the highest are the lighter weights, and then it slowly goes down throughout the weight class. So I was like, you know, this is pretty kind of obvious stuff. But one thing I saw in there that was interesting is the glycolytic power represents the magnitude to which the body can continue to produce energy in the absence of oxygen at high intensities for a prolonged period of time. So basically, you know, anaerobic capacity. And, I didn't write it down. But they said glycolytic power was a very high indicator of athletes that performed better. So compared to the athletes individually, people with higher glycolytic power tended to have a higher winning percentage, which makes sense, you know. And then aerobic bioenergetics. So think more like steady state cardio, provides energy for sustained efforts throughout 5-minute rounds and aids the fighter's recoverability in the 1-minute rest between rounds, as well as following discrete high-intensity bursts of anaerobic activity. So yeah, that's an interesting thing, because you're like, I think we talked about this before, is like how much is just pure aerobic capacity applicable to a MMA fight, because it's a lot of fast, powerful bursts and stuff. But yeah, you know.
But it helps like the intra conflict recoverability.
Yeah,
right?
like well
the intra exchange.
Yeah.
Within the exchanges, it helps with the recovery within that. Yeah.
Even though it's like a short period of time, the better your aerobic systems work, the faster you can help basically recover from that oxygen debt that you created, and be able to burst again, essentially. So it helps with that anaerobic power, or that glycolytic power, however you want to say it. So that was interesting with the bioenergetics.
Yeah, bioenergetics is really interesting when it comes to MMA.
Yeah, because it's like you're using at all systems.
Yeah.
Know? It's just it's not like a marathon runner where you just aerobic capacity and that's it, you know, or like an Olympic lifter where you just try and explode really quickly. It's a mix all throughout the spectrum. Section 15 was interesting, periodization for MMA. You know, with bless you. Because you know, MMA, it doesn't have like a season, an off season, a preseason, like a normal kind of sport. So periodization can be kind of challenging. You can't have just like a linear periodization. Plus, fights get canceled and moved around and dates and all that kind of stuff. So what they recommended was like undulating kind of periodization, which you know we've learned about in class. It's more of a not quite as structured, and you're getting different types of workouts in. Well, they did undulating. You see, in class we learned undulating is like different kind of, like your power day is one day, and then your muscular endurance is one day, and so on. You know,
within the microcycle.
Yeah, within the microcycle, which is a week. But what they did was more of like a progression of intensity. So they did for like what was this? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, they did like a 4-week cycle where it was like introduction, or actually no, sorry, this is like not a microcycle, but rather like a mesocycle,
yeah,
like a month period. Well, they have a 3 and a month week. So you have your first microcycle, which is like an introduction of whatever, and then the accumulation, and then peak, and then deload for a 4-week cycle, or like a 3-week cycle, accumulation, peak, deload. So yeah, that's interesting. And this was actually primarily for like off-season work, when they don't have a camp coming up. And what does this say? This undulating weekly cycle allows for positive adaptations. Yep, so technical skill and fitness in fighters, while hopefully balancing the risk of any negative adaptations, illness and injury. We've talked about this in the past. So many fighters get sick and so many fighters get injured during camp. And I think a lot of them aren't really doing this undulating style, and I think they're just pushing it every single week, just going after it, and they're not giving their bodies time to deload and recover from what they're putting their bodies through. So they're building technical skill, and in a camp probably more like fitness. But then, you know, if you're just redlining for too long, bodies can't take it. And I think some definitely fighters get by it and are okay, and they compete and they perform well, but it might catch up to you. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna mention. I mean, I think these other sections are tied in too. It's kind of interesting that Danaher's Death Squad, like, and their take on like rest days. I don't know if you saw that, but they don't really.
Yeah.
They don't really have rest days. They do 2 days, and they just train lighter. think it's kind of interesting. I mean, I can see like as far as like practice and whatnot, like especially since they're at such like a higher skill level, like the people are like they're training with. I mean, some of them they have really high skilled training partners too, and they can pick and choose their training partners and whatnot. But like even the fact that they still show up, like they show up every single day. So like there's really no like psychological break, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure like when they need to, like they do get enough of a break physically. Like they just don't ramp it up on that one of those 7 days that they're there. But as far as like psychologically, like they don't ever like, you know, chill out, which I thought was kind of. I feel like you would want that. Or do they just kind of like? I know Jocko says like he doesn't plan off days. He just waits for life to happen because they'll give you off days. You know, like maybe like when they're traveling or something. Like that's their off day. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I couldn't imagine doing it 7 days, 365 days a year. Two
Yeah.
days a
So
day.
like for them, I doubt they're taking a full week of like a deload.
It sounds like they don't. That's what they said.
You know, they might take a day here and there to like deload and just kind of go through the motions and whatnot. But you know, what's Gordon Ryan's kind of injury he's dealing with right now, or illness? It's like some sort of stomach, right?
Some sort of stomach problem. Yeah, he says.
And where did that stem from?
I think he was there's no like for sure like causation, I guess you would say. But he took some antibiotics one time for like I think it was like staph one time or something like that. And then like he said he started noticing problems then. But yeah, so it's just like I think it's like extremely.
Yeah, antibiotic, and you gotta be careful with those.
Yeah, it's just extremely nauseous and whatnot. And it's kind of funny because like I kind of have like that problem sometimes with like my allergies that have flared up, like especially in the mornings, like when I go to work out or whatnot, like because my sinuses kind of like runs down in my back of my throat and my stomach. So like sometimes in training, like I feel like I'm a mini Gordon Ryan because I have to walk outside and spit sometimes, or like I drove down the street from practice and I kind of had to stop and yak some water with some mucus in it. So it's like it's not enjoyable training and feeling nauseous, you know.
Yeah.
And like mine's like a very micro thing. It's only plaguing me for the past few weeks, but like to train like that, like 7 days a week, like, and Danaher was saying that like it was noticeable, like Gordon Ryan's like change in attitude over the past couple of years. So he's just kind of very like you could tell like he's kind of fighting through training, like he's just like not in a good mood. He's like you could tell he's sick. Like, he's not as lighthearted as he used to be. Like he's just kind of like grinding through it. You know, he can't even complete a workout a lot of the time because he's so nauseous.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't think that was associated with like overtraining.
No, I don't think so either.
I think the antibiotics, which a lot of people don't really think about or consider or even know about, is that antibiotics are terrible for your gut biome. And like sometimes you'll bring up like gut biome and like gut flora or like whatever and that kind of stuff. People look at you like you're fucking just saying some bullshit, you know? But you never think about all the microorganisms like on your skin and in your body that take care of you, and like the prebiotics and probiotics that you take. It's really important. So I'm sure he's getting that figured out, but
hopefully.
But anyways, yeah. But yeah, the thing is like this is what they recommend for periodization for MMA, but like you know, there's a million different ways to do it. So yeah. And then section 16 was another one I liked. Managing training distribution, so different kinds of sessions, like how to structure your workout. So they had like 4 kind of primary ones. So one was like a plateau where you start off slow, work up, and you just maintain this level of work and then bring it back down. I say like your standard average kind of workout. That's pretty standard. You know, you peak and you maintain. So they gave examples like sparring or aerobic conditioning. So you're like steady state, that builds your aerobic capacity, which they said was really important in the bioenergetics section, you know. And then your intervals, so technical drilling or different kind of conditioning. So just getting different kind of movements, full body movements that require a lot of muscles and a lot of oxygen. Undulation allows for optimal work and recovery. So that's like, when they say undulation there, that's like within the workout undulation. And yeah, it develops that bioenergetics, that anaerobic capacity for those explosive sprints and recover. And then ascending, which was for skill development. So I think that's interesting. We're starting off slow and just steadily increasing, and you're like peaking at the end of the workout. And then the last one was descending. So it starts really high. So it puts your body in that shock of like you just went through a full crazy like transition or like a sprawl or whatever, and then you have to kind of recover from that, recovering from a bad position. So I thought that was interesting.
So that's within a session?
Yeah, yeah. Like these are like in session, like how you
Like your routine.
program your like that one workout.
In that order.
No, oh no, sorry, not necessarily in that order, but just different. I don't think yeah, because this is distribution, but I don't think it said exactly how you wanna just actually distribute those type of workouts. But those are like the four kind of primary ones. I guess it would just depend on what you need to work more on how you do those. Say you're a heavyweight and you kind of get out of shape out of camp, and then you're probably gonna be doing a lot more of like plateau type workouts, building up that aerobic capacity or aerobic conditioning.
So what do they say about like training like multiple types of? So those are 4 different like training sessions, right? Like
Yeah.
styles. What do they say about like, combining them, or like doing 2 per day, split up, or like what do they?
They didn't really talk about 2 days or anything like that. Or yeah, I don't remember. I don't think they said anything about that. Maybe somewhere else in there. Like there was literally like hundreds of sections. How many sections were there? I had.
I think I'm still reading through section 1. I'm trying to take the purest route and read the whole thing.
I was like, there's no way I'm gonna read all this. I just don't have the attention span.
Yeah.
I went to like section 30, I think, and there's like literally like 100, I think. So, I mean, shout out to these people that made this. Like honestly, it's so in depth and just so much information. There's 90 sections, 500 pages basically. So, and I just got to like the 16th section, so, I would really like to invest more time into like really delving into this, but unless I was working with like an MMA specific athlete, it's just like, this was all very cool information to know and have, but it's like how applicable is it to like what I'm currently doing, you know what I mean? But I really appreciate it,
It's unfortunate because this is like the stuff that I find really interesting.
Yeah, it's just the struggle of finding that type of athlete, finding that athlete that'd be willing to commit and just do everything you said and developing them. It's just it's challenging.
That's why getting that CSCS is kind of like one of the big next steps.
Yeah. Did we bring that up on here?
You mentioned it last time.
So, okay, so yeah, fuck all this stuff. So, yeah, dude, trying to figure out like business things going forward. I really want to get my CSCS. I mentioned at the top of this, I just got my degree. You got yours a little ways back. So, just working with athletes, it just feels really challenging. But that's the direction I want to go. But currently, have I told you about this lady, Marianne, that I've been working with?
Yeah, the studio. You thinking about?
Yeah. So, I actually met with her yesterday to kind of start working out details. And we're going to start trying to develop this Fit After 50 training business. And so, it's a lot of seniors and whatnot, which is not like, I don't have any problem with working with seniors because a good majority of my client base has always been seniors, just from working with the Y, and then also just, there's a lot of elderly people out there that need training, and it's like, okay, but the direction I want to take long term is athletes, but I want to start to develop this training business with her, and eventually maybe get to the point where it's a little more autonomous and we have trainers that we bring in and work and whatnot, and kind of build that passive income like we talked about, and then start to, once you get that settled, but that's going to take a long time, probably a couple of years honestly, even longer, who knows. But once you get that like developed and in place, kind of work more towards the athletes. But yeah, CSCS would be like the route.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Do you have like a timeline of when you want to start like studying for it, or like covering material?
Yeah, it's just I don't know, cause I want, like, prior to meeting this lady and kind of getting on this Fit After 50 kick, like beginning of that accelerated class, like probably like whatever 3 weeks ago now at this point, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna graduate, take a little bit of time, take like a couple months off, just do whatever, and then start working towards that. But now I don't know, because I just I want to commit like everything to that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that'd be just a really good business opportunity.
You can't split up too much.
Yeah, it's just like you gotta kind of pick one and stick with it, you know.
Yeah.
Until it's at least set, and you don't have to be like, I don't have to be physically training a majority of the clients, you know.
Yeah.
But that's gonna take time to develop. It's just like I don't know, like how long it's gonna take.
Yeah. So you're talking details and whatnot with her as far as
Yeah.
studio and like.
Well, not quite the studio, but like we're figuring out like yesterday we met. We figured out like kind of what we want for our logo, and we're doing the Fiverr thing, and then she already has a website. She has her own brand, Endeavor, but she doesn't really like that for whatever reason. So she just wants to rebrand it and then put the Fit After 50 and change everything up, and then, you know, like our primary focus, our like business, like I don't know if you remember from 469, like the 5 P's of promotion, but it's like product, place, price, person, and
You already said promotion?
I think so. Whatever the fucking 5 P's are. You know, we were going through that basically, and it's like, what are our products going to be and how we can promote it and stuff. So obviously we'll have our like one-on-one personal training, either in person or virtual. She'll probably do more of the virtual stuff because she likes doing that. She already does that. And then our group exercise class, we have like Saturday mornings at the Lakewood or at the El Dorado Park, and then we want to build out from there. And then
No, that hasn't started yet, right?
no, we've started that. We've done that for a couple weeks now.
Oh, nice.
So if you know any people at 50 or older, or even if you're not 50 but you're like new to exercise,
Is that free or do you charge for that?
first class is free, and then we're gonna charge $15 a class from there.
Nice. Are you gonna try to get it on like a payment schedule, or are you just getting like pay per session? Like, what do you do?
Well, we have a pay per session, and then she likes to do them in packs of 4. So I was like, okay, and then it's like a slight discount if you do the package of them. So I was like, cool, that works, you know.
So do you guys both do the classes?
Yeah, so it's like 2 of us.
Oh, okay.
So that's interesting, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think I've ever really trained or like taught a class with another person, but she wanted to do it together, so I was like, sure, whatever, that's fine.
How many people did you have?
You know, first week we had 5, and then second one we had 3. It's not very big. The problem is, especially with the seniors, is just like they're just very set in their ways, and getting past that like resistance, that struggle part. If there's any type of resistance, it's like, oh, it's just not happening, you know.
Yeah.
So like that last Saturday, we had a few people that said we're gonna come, and then just canceled last minute, or like didn't wake up, and I was like, oh shit, because we had like another like 7 people that we knew were gonna come that ended up not. So I was like, fuck, you know, it's tough.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still new, and we're still working on it. But like our promotion plan is to start reaching out to like the senior centers, senior kind of community centers around in the area, and just being like, hey, you know, could we, you know, maybe come in and actually teach like a one-off kind of class, and just kind of show what we can do, and then pass out little like quarter flyer things to them, you know, like if you want to do more, come there, or just work out some kind of agreement with the place to come and teach classes every so often, and like either the participants pay or the place pays for us to come. We're still trying to work it out on how it's gonna go, you know.
Yeah, you should snake some Silver Sneakers clients from the Y.
We were literally talking, well, not from the Y, but she was like, I'm thinking about just getting a membership at like 24 or what's the other one, and just going to like the senior classes and just like being like, hey, we have this thing, and like come. I was like, I don't know.
That's like the ethics.
Yeah, ethically, I don't know. If you want to do it, go for it. But I don't know if I want to particularly do that. Like, no judgment. I know you're trying to help us out, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's like
a little dirty, but also who gives a fuck, you know?
Yeah. I mean, all's fair in love and war, and they say business is war, so.
Facts. So, but just, motion is just the biggest thing. But working on like the SEO stuff and dude, actually this really good resource that she told me about, America's, this stands for something, SBDC, California. It's basically like a small business consulting kind of thing, and it's free of charge. Small Business Development Center, and it's free of charge, and they'll give you like a person to work with you and like develop your brand, develop your website, help you with things, and just kind of get you rolling. I was like, holy shit, dude. So she told me about that, and I gotta reach out and have them help me with my personal stuff, because I think what the direction I want to take now, it's just you tell me what you think about this, because like I said earlier, I've been doing the health coaching for my job, and I think if applied properly, health coaching can be extremely helpful for people, because for this program, we primarily work with this one company, Boyd Gaming, and for the insurance reasons, they have to come and meet with us 3 times. And so most people, it's their first session, but sometimes I get some people come back for their second. And like the goals and whatnot that they set with the first health coach, I'd say most of the time the people follow through with them, and they improve their, the health markers and build healthy habits, So, and I'm thinking about how to differentiate between like other trainers, because, do I have that thing up?
You think about making like health coaching like a standard in your training?
Well,
it's kind of hard to be a trainer and a fucking health coach at the same person.
See, yeah, it is, and so I'm trying to think of how to do this, but like, I was just thinking like, there's not a lot of people in my situation that have a BS in kinesiology, a personal training certification, and also a health coaching certification. It's a very kind of particular kind of thing where I feel like I could do certain things that others really can't. So I was like, how do I work that particular angle, So what I was thinking is, and I don't know if I'm completely set on this kind of, this phrase, but something called like functional medicine, where it's like, it's a combination of movements and nutrition and health coaching related stuff like stress management, and if you have like morbidities, like chronic diseases and whatnot, work on those things, and supplementation and all these things, and combine them into this one kind of ultimate package of like functional medicine, and working that as like a whole package. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get, yeah.
But it sounds kind of like, it's just like the idea of like, and that's why I'm not 100% sure like on the idea of the name, but something kind of like that, but like really truly, proper nutrition and exercise really could be medicine for a majority of people to fix them, and like it's a move away from like pharmaceutical kind of intervention and just getting people to do just the basic kind of stuff. And I'm still trying to work it out and figure it out, But what I was thinking about doing is like reaching out to like physicians in the area and just being like, hey, if you have anyone that has like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, cholesterol, obesity, any of those kind of like chronic illnesses, if you want, and say they've been coming to you for a little while and you have them on medications and they're not improving, and you tell them to like do this and this to fix their lifestyle problems, but they're not, refer them to me. I'll help them get better health outcomes and just work with them on actually staying on top of what they need to change in their life to actually make these things and get off these medications, and kind of frame it as something like that, like a health coach, but also, because like there's things that a health coach can do that a trainer can't, and vice versa, but then I also have like the kinesiology background, so it's just trying to figure out how to work all those different angles. I don't know, man. It's very.
I think you're onto something. It's just a matter of piecing it together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, where trainers can't really prescribe diets or whatnot. I feel like, you tell me what you think about this. Like, prescribing diets and nutrition recommendations as like a kinesiologist. You think that's like acceptable? I don't really know.
I don't know. You just gotta figure out how to wait it so you can't get sued. Or something.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's what's most important, honestly.
But see, 100%. And you know what I was thinking is like, look, I'm not an RD, but kind of like how Greg Doucette does it. Like, he's not RD, but he prescribes diets and that kind of stuff. But he's a kinesiologist.
I mean, bodybuilding coaches do all the time.
Yeah, and a bunch of fitness influencer type people that don't even have the practical background as a bodybuilder.
No.
Prescribe diets, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how? Because like the biggest thing was like in school, all the professors would say like, oh, don't prescribe diets, that's out of your scope of practice. But then you see all these fuckheads that don't have nearly as much nutritional educate. I've taken a lot of nutritional classes, you know, through school, and then also I'm a student of the game. I try and learn a lot about nutrition, and I know I have much more of a nutritional background than these fuckheads out here that charge from. So it's like, and I know all they really do is they put a disclaimer and say, hey, I'm not whatever, this, that, and the other, and then just take it at your own risk, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they make money from it. So it's like, how are you going to tell me to not do something like that when they do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating.
I mean, it helps. I mean, it's better for like the fucking client or whatever, like the buyer, because they're not gonna probably go make the expense to go get a fucking dietitian.
Yeah, and then like we talked about in the past, most of them are fucking dog shit anyways.
Yeah.
A lot of RDs are just fat. Like,
yeah.
Like when I did the Super Kids, they would have like registered dietitians, interns come in, and they're not even healthy themselves. I'm just like, well, come on, man. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, you're more likely to be the one who walks it and talks it yourself.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out how to incorporate these different things. And then there's just so many health-related things that, like, you know, chronic pain, stress, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, tobacco use, weight management, all these different kind of things where I could kind of build a niche into helping people with these certain kind of problems and just help them not have those problems anymore, essentially. But it's very challenging to figure it out. I don't quite understand it, but yeah, like functional medicine. It sounds kind of hokey and kind of bullshit, but like I don't know. I really don't know how else to like frame it. But that's
just a branding issue at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, but the idea is there.
Yeah. But anyways, I just went on a big rant there. But that's kind of how I'm trying to structure my own personal like LB certified fitness, because I wanted to go like the athlete route, but it's, you know, I gotta get my CSES and then develop all that, you know.
Yeah,
and it's like I have my health coaching certification right now, and I really think it could be useful. It's just I need to find like a physician that understands what I'm trying to go at to kind of help improve people's health outcomes and understands this kind of stuff and would be willing to refer. Just finding that type of physician who's not like, who's more understanding and knows these kind of things and isn't just like trying to just go through it by like pharmaceutical.
You're probably gonna have to meet them through like a mutual person or like a networking or just like as opposed to like a cold call. You probably won't get much attention from like a cold call.
Yeah. Well, it's like how.
I mean, you can still try
how
it.
Do you, yeah. No, 100%. You're right, because I like, you know, the golf fitness related thing. I wanted to do the TPI thing too. You know, it's just like.
Yeah, they want to know you.
Yeah, that's of the one person. I think I told you the one person that got back to me is like, well, I don't know you, so I would never refer you. I was like, well, fuck, all right.
That's fair, but yeah, unfortunately true.
It's like how do you build a relationship with someone to then have them basically refer you to a physician, so they feel comfortable to then refer you to have them refer their patients to you. It's like it's this fucking, I don't know, this circle that I don't quite understand.
Yeah, I agree.
It's complicated.
Yeah, I mean that's why people have like whole like networking events and whatnot. But yeah,
need to get in those physician network. Events. But anyways, I've been rambling too much. We're at 1:15 here. Anyways, yeah. Well, I'm gonna work that out over the next few weeks and see how that goes. I got a lot of notes here trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to just get away from the general pop personal training thing because I feel like that's just like everyone can fucking do that.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a million different of those. You gotta like build your specific niche.
Yeah. Your niche.
Yeah. And I'm kind of tired of the just general thing. So we'll see. But anyways, that's it. But yeah, I mean, long term, I want to get to the CSES, but like, who knows? I could really kind of start that whenever. I don't know.
No, I feel that.
So if you ever want to start studying for it, you know, what's his name? Ethan from school.
Yep.
He reached out to me, or I reached out to him a little while ago, and he said he was interested in getting that. So I was like, oh, hit me up if you're gonna do it, so we can like train or study for it together. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's on my itinerary, but probably not immediate.
Yeah, a little bit farther out.
Yeah, but I can see myself maybe in like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, I mean, if everything goes well, that would probably be more my timeline too.
Yeah, I mean I'll at least for sure be studying. I think at some point. I just gotta get, like I said, I think that flying thing's like my next thing I'm gonna try to dive into and get like the as far as like the knowledge or like the ground school they call it, so to speak, like all the stuff I have to study, focus on that in the beginning, and then I can like get my hours in while studying for a CS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The flight thing's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that'll be. I mean, there's so much you can do with it, even if I don't even work on it, do that for work long term. It's always recreation, but I can also like just be an instructor and choose my own hours on the side. And I could also fly cargo. I could fly commercial. There's a lot of different. I could be a private pilot. You know, like there's a lot of different stuff I could still do with it. And even if I did it for only a few years or whatnot, or did it part time, like I could always have it for recreation. So I think it is a pretty cool.
Go and fly whenever you want.
Yeah, so I think it is a pretty cool thing to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, and I have like a resource that not a lot of people don't. With it, my dad's an instructor. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%. That's a really good resource.
Yeah, so maybe it just kind of seems to make sense right now.
100%.
And that could kind of help me gain capital. Say if I want to do something later on in fitness too, or like I don't want to train full time to like make money to like open a gym down the line and whatnot. But like I could build capital flying and do training on the side just because I love it, whatnot. You know.
Yeah.
And then it could help me with like future business endeavors down the line. So. And like I said, the big thing is like the building the schedule type thing too. That's a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, not stuck in a 9-to-5 type thing. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
I did not like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That's the key. Stay away from that. Yeah, business stuff. I'm always trying to think about it. It's hard, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. So.
Alright, cool. So I think that's about it. Yeah, I mean, anything else to add?
No, I think that's solid.
Alright, fantastic. Brought the SD card this time, so yeah, we have some recording.
Yep.
Video. That is it, folks.
Episode 19.
Episode 19, Performance Academy Podcast, with Zach Rowe
And Josh.
Alright, peace.